Hi, we are back out here at the Middle Fork Trailhead on the Soldier Creek National Wilderness area. You can see it there. Yesterday we came out and didn't have a lot of direction, didn't have a lot of guidance. I'm going to fill out my visitor registration. I'm going to put a thing on here, tell them where I intend to go. If something happened for some reason, they would know kind of where to go, save them a lot of time looking for my dumb butt. Hopefully nothing like that will occur, but it's better to be safe. I know that doesn't sound like, you know, Bear Grylls wilderness survival deal, but to be honest, it's the smart thing. You're going to save somebody a lot of headache. Pretty unlikely. It is hot out here though, but I've got a lot of water with me.
Ding!
Got to get through a gate. Got to make sure you close the gates behind yourself. That's noisy. This is near an area they call Pine Ridge, and I think all these pines indicate why you get that particular nomer. This specifically is Soldier Creek Wilderness though, and it is named for the creek which we are about to walk across, because that's what the trail does. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go looking for wood reserve ponds. We're actually in the creek here. Okay, and we're across it. I haven't gone very far yet, but I am just making my way up double track, and I've got some hills behind me. Pardon my breathing, I'm from about 1,000 feet, not 5,000 feet. I don't know if you know this, I am in peak physical condition and a prime specimen. If I can do this, there's a lot of you out there that can do this. There's some wind, I'm assuming you can hear it. That breeze is helping me stay cool. For the most part, trees are doing good, and I think they take a while to grow out here. There isn't a big surplus of water. You can see where the water is. I'm not taking a path that goes along the stream. Yesterday I kind of took some single track that went down along the stream, but that is not the strategy for getting back in there a little ways. Following that stream puts you on a path that the stream takes, which is not the shortest path between 2 points. These bodies of water out here and in most places tend to wind a lot, and that windy nature, sorry, I'm looking for snakes while I'm talking to you. That windy nature definitely makes for a longer path. I'm just wandering an open grass prairie, paralleling the general course of the stream, which will ultimately make a shorter walk to get back where I want to be. When this was in use as a fort, especially in the late 1800s and further in, this would all been traversed by horse. And honestly, that'd be a pretty good way of getting around out here. Modern off-road style vehicles would have very little trouble. The soil is predominantly sand, it's pretty soft. Here's a little cutout gully. The creek eats away, water erosion, rain eats away. We're out here, we're prospecting, we're looking for some jewels out here in the sandy hills. We'll see what we can find. Trail's gotten a little closer to the creek, and my terrain is a little different. Still got to be mindful of the rattly snakes, so I'm watching where I'm walking. There's a Middle Fork right there. Pretty small water right there, and this whole thing will be very small water. So we have to find bends, we have to find deep spots, and deep might be a foot. So I want to catch a brookie. I'd like to find a cutty. Who knows what today will bring? One thing for sure, it'll bring adventure and heat. It's two things I know I'm gonna get. A little adventure, a lot of heat. I'll talk to you later. Stopped to get fuel in town, and when I did, I spoke with a gentleman who was fueling a big flatbed, pulling a big fifth wheel flatbed. He was getting gas. I talked to him a little bit about his truck, how much gas it takes. He was telling me about throwing hay and being out in 103 running the skid loader while his kids are sitting in the AC in the truck burning his gas. Anyway, He was funny. He has been working the land out here for interesting. He has been working the land out here for a bunch of years. 61, he said. And wow, these ponds are weedy. His experience was interesting to listen to. He was an interesting guy, and we had a nice conversation. This is virtually unfishable. We're gonna give it a shot though. Definitely the advice I got, so I did a little research. I'll tell you later, I'm a fish. Horribly backlit, but a little better. We are stringing up. I'll tell you how excited I am right now. I've caught cutthroat, I've caught brook trout, but I've never caught them in the state. I've never caught them in this state, and that's because I've never been here before, and other than very limited populations, this is about the only place where you can get them. Have a level of excitement and a level of trepidation, because some effort was made to come out here and try to realize this goal, and there are literally no guarantees that that is going to occur. A couple ways you can learn things. One is to read about things, and do research. And that's a very efficient way to learn things. Another way to learn things is to come out and do it, fail, and learn from it. That's not an efficient way to learn things, but it may be my way, because I didn't do the research. I just came out and did a little bit of hiking around yesterday, wasted time because I didn't know where to go. I got home, I researched that a little bit, figured out where I need to go. I didn't know about, time of year, any of that. Well, in my reading today, it was suggested that this is a good place to come in the spring and fall, and difficult in the summer because of weed growth. And clearly that is a fact. Well, I saw something surface over here, so I don't know if my odds are better or not, but they're probably not worse. We're gonna go do a little walking. There's another pond. Pretty good sized one, a little less weed growth. A lot of gunk on the surface though. Let's see what we can do. We're changing our strategy slightly. Try to do something different just for the sake of it. We're gonna be loud. We're gonna be small, but we're gonna be loud. I got enough open water to run something here. Conservation out here is very key. These are small bodies of water, and it would take very little to ruin them. There aren't a lot of fish, and taking any out is probably cause for concern. That resulted in a big bunch of nothing. We're gonna look at a slightly different strategy. I'm gonna put some of my stuff away. Okay guys, I put on what was my last fly that I was gonna do before I switched out of this particular body of water, and I'm gonna hurry him back into the water, but I do want you to see him. That is a cutthroat trout. He's a little mad. He's about to go back. That is a Nebraska cutty, maybe one of the biggest ones in this pool. And I've been throwing at him for a while. He just wouldn't bite anything. Sorry, super important to me to get him back in there. All right, sorry about that. I wanted to recap because I don't know how much footage is usable, but I'm working this pond, tiny little guy. I've had some trout working in here for quite some time, and I've tried a lot of different flies. You saw some of it. Frankly, I quit filming because it was just frustration. I put on what I decided was going to be my last fly before I moved on. About 5th cast with that fly. This fish that's been working through here a bunch finally turned on it, and we managed to land him. I feel really good about that. I had him out of the water a minimal amount of time. If I had somebody here filming with me, I might have got in the water with him just to keep him wet the whole time, but handled him very briefly. These fish, it's a fragile ecosystem, and you don't want to, you know, beat them up. You don't want to be responsible to take any of them, frankly, out of here. The number of fish in this tiny little thing is not high, and the opportunity for you to come out here and get one, we want to keep that as high as possible. It's a pretty good walk back in here. It's hot. I definitely would recommend a fall or spring trip out here, but cutty, gorgeous, big, deep red slashes. I don't know if I'll get one an alternative way, but I'm gonna try to get the spinning rod involved here. I don't know that that'll work because of the way that this water is, but we're gonna give it a couple of casts and then I'm gonna keep moving. This looks like the last of the 4 ponds, I think. Am I greedy? Try to pick up one more. Seems kind of silly. I don't know what the numbers are on these ponds. I know there's 4 numbered ponds. I have found 3 of them. Most of them look like this. Found a little open water in that one area though, and found a trout. Found several trout. Managed to get one to bite. Pretty excited about that guy. Well, never did find a brookie. You're looking at the stream, the kind of water we're dealing with. I'm definitely gonna break out of water for my walk back. Probably talk to you on the way. Well, if you got water out here, you got plant life. We're down on the, very near the stream right now. It's working my way back out. I'd call it successful. A lot of people wouldn't, but goal achieved. New species in the state, and a nice one, really pretty. Feeling good about it. Another one of these V-gates so that people don't open your actual gate and people don't forget to close it and let your cattle out all over. Pretty handy thing. See those. You also see along some trout streams in the west, ladders built to climb over a fence. Just goes up one side and down the other, solely for foot traffic, for fly fishermen and spin fishermen. Mostly fly fishermen out where they're at. We're both today, although only successful on the fly, which maybe that's how it should be, I don't know. Climbing up out of the valley. Good news, more wind exposed. Bad news, more sun exposed. Hi, still walking. I got my face mask down because I was drinking this water, but I'll put it back up for sun protection. Still walking the Great Plains on the way back to the car. For those of you that are fans of Optic Big Timer, Big T plays video games on the internet. Pretty entertaining though. Probably not NSFW language occasionally, but smart guy, pretty funny, talks about interesting stuff. One of his deals, you gotta dip your toes in, you gotta get your feet wet for good luck. We already had good luck, but dipping the toes anyway. Looking for good luck on the way home and for the rest of the trip. Gotta dip your toes. Hi, backlit again. Backlit's kind of what we do. I'm walking on your land, Ogallala National Grasslands. It's predominantly just traversed by cattle and men on horseback. And whatever left this looks canine, probably a coyote. We hear them quite a bit. It's a pretty arid area. They don't get a lot of rain. They're in a drought. That could change soon though. It won't be enough rain to change the drought condition, but dampen the soil a little bit. Every little bit helps. I saw 4 antelope this morning. Saw a coyote yesterday. More muleys. I see a lot of mule deer. I see a lot of cattle. There's several different kinds of cattle, including longhorns on the fort. There's one almost on the road. There's some deer track right there. The antelope were also on the road. We saw one by himself and then 3 in a group. This soil is really interesting. Some of it is compressed, you know, stone, sandstone. Some of it is just sandy soil, and then you get some of this stuff, which I don't know if that's more of a clay. It kind of balls up in the soil. It's weird. I'd have to learn more because I don't know. Anyway, as I was saying, this is your land. It's my land too. It's national preserve. I'm walking in a dry creek bed. Enjoying it. It's been hot. Cloud cover's making it less hot. I don't know what antelope prints look like either, so following my plan. Definitely coons out here. A lot of birds, a lot of meadowlarks. Seen a grouse. Seen a couple quail. Decent amount of poison ivy. Not near like at home though. Where we live it's wetter. You get more of that itchy weed. Nebraska also has elk, and they are out here. I don't know that they're right on this piece of property, although they may move through, but a few miles away there's an active herd, I'm told. Haven't driven up to try to see them yet. It's a morning only thing, I understand. Has a little natural gateway. We're gonna walk through it and see what we find on the other side. Yeah, it's nothing earth-shattering. It looks a lot the same as it did over there. Maybe a little more vegetation. It hasn't started to rain yet. These old cuts and gullies and stuff go back in there a ways. It's pretty neat. In the frontier times, I'd be a little worried about running into outlaws or natives that were not friendly. That trip out west was a great trip. I had a very good time. I enjoyed what we did. I know the ending part wasn't fishing necessarily, just walking the Ogallala National Grasslands, but it was pretty neat, and I did get some footage that I will use talking about how to fish current, because that dry creek bed was pretty full of stuff that can help me tell that story. I appreciate your time, appreciate you coming out to watch, and we'll see you next week.
Ding! Fries are done.